Call it how it is. Hendrix. I promise you, swear. I'm there, spit it. Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, rep the set, gotta rep the set, chase a chick, never chase a bitch, chase no bitch, mask on, fuck it, mask on, mask on, fuck it, mask on, Percocet, Miley Percocet, chase a chick, never chase a bitch, chase no bitch, 2 cups, toast up with the gang, from full stops to a whole nother domain, out the bottom, I'm a living proof, ain't compromising, $500,000 on the coupe, drug houses, looking like Peru, graduated, I was overdue, I'm overdue, pink Miley, I can barely move, ask about me, I'm gon' bust a move, Red James, 33 chains, Ocean now, cruising Biscayne, top off, that's a liability, hit the gas, boosting my adrenaline, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, rep the set, gotta rep the set, chase a chick, never chase a bitch, mask on, fuck it, mask on, mask on, fuck it, mask on, Percocet, Miley Percocet, chase a chick, never chase a bitch, chase no bitches, photo maybe, I drive anything, buy my rings, make them go insane, My guillotine, draping melazine, taking beams, go to those extremes, let's go, Parliament, call up Mari wins, parlay in Vegas, we was in attendance, let's go, before the business, Deodora lenses, more prescriptions, focus on the mission, put my intermission, never take a break, we can't prolong, switch states, touchdown foreign plates, ain't no way, ain't no fucking way, no, we come to play. We didn't come to play, no, rob the bank, we gon' rob the game, again they gang, we gang, but they are not the same, we been Percocet, Miley Percocet, big firm, Percocet, Miley Percocet, big firm, rep the set, gotta rep the set, chase a chick, never chase a bitch, big firm, mask on, fuck it, mask on, mask on, fuck it, mask on, big firm, Percocet, Miley Percocet, big firm, chase a chick, never chase a bitch, big firm, mask on, fuck it, mask on, mask on, fuck it, mask on, mask on, fuck it, mask on, gas gone, never nod off.
We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make them. We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make them. We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make them. We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make them. We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make them all have fun. How we ablaze the fire, make it burn them. We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make some sound, boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. mash up the place, turn up the bass and make some sound, boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make them all have fun. And we ablaze the fire, make it burn them. We mash up the place, turn up the bass and make some sound, boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. Them. Blaze the fire, make it on them.
You should buy a mic, start a podcast. Think your opinion should be broadcast. Even though no one's subscribing, listen, I like him, but by all means keep whining. Must be tough if life's so rough. You should buy a mic, start a podcast. Even though wait, nobody asked. Cause I was crying every night and you just stood there gaslighting. Nothing's working, so I've been searching. Where do all these men find the audacity? No, actually, because I think I'm at capacity. Maybe I'm missing, maybe I'm behind. Don't really tell me where they find the audacity. No, actually, it's so stunned by your stupidity. Cause I've been looking, but I'm yet to see. Where do all these men find the audacity? I've been on the hunt for a long time. Thought I could confront all the dumb guys and teach them a lesson about grace and discretion, but they just looked dead in the eyes. Cause I was crying every night and you just stood there gaslighting. Nothing's working, so I've been searching. Where do all these men find the audacity? No, actually, because I think I'm at capacity. Maybe I'm missing, maybe I'm behind. Don't really tell me where they find the audacity. No, actually, it's so stunned by your stupidity. Cause I've been looking, but I've yet to see. Where do all these men find the audacity? Yeah, yeah. Oh, where do all these men find the audacity? Yeah. Cause I think I'm at capacity. Maybe I'm missing, maybe I'm behind. Don't really tell me where they find the audacity. No, actually, it's so stunned by your stupidity. Cause I've been looking, but I've yet to see. Where do all these men find the
Disclaimer: everything discussed in this stream is alleged. Everything is based on our opinions. Please do your own research.
Disclaimer: the content of this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. The theories, ideas, and opinions discussed are those of the hosts and guests and do not reflect the official stance of the podcast, its creators, or affiliated organizations. While we explore various conspiracy theories and alternative viewpoints, we do not claim them as factual or proven. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research, use critical thinking, and approach the material with an open mind. This podcast does not aim to incite fear, hatred, or illegal activities. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello.
How's it going? How's it going, girls?
Good.
Good.
That was an extra long disclaimer today.
Well, I figured we would be extra special, careful. And Shawnee, you need to unmute yourself. I can't unmute you.
I didn't mute myself.
She's just been quiet. She's just been quiet.
She's a quiet
no, the
girl.
disclaimer was just really well. I mean, obviously, we're going to be pissing off some people tonight.
No.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope not. I just want to be nice and have flowers and like spread love around the world.
Oh, I see that. I do see that. Canuck Law and Measure Smith, they're here. Canuck Law, I did put your links to your pages on the page that we're going to unveil here soon, just so you know. Hopefully that's okay. He's just got a lot of good information about Diagolon and everything else. So, how's everybody? The thing, the secret, the possibility. I'm fucking tired. This has been exhausting, you girls. I know you guys are probably tired too. You guys don't understand. We've put a lot of work into this.
We have.
The rabbit hole.
I did nothing.
Better put some waiters on. The shit gets deep.
It does.
Okay,
it does.
we should have been giving you assignments then, Holly.
No,
I was bossing everyone around. Holly, were you
Stream
ignoring?
homework?
no text messages. You need to look at this. Anyway, I've got exciting news to share.
All right.
As a part of our awesome hello. So here's my Roma tomatoes. They're starting to come into season.
Fancy. You look at you gardener.
I know.
You're so good.
Okay, and I always like to start with something happy. And check out my pickles.
Ooh.
Those are nice pickles.
Delicious.
Nice pukes.
Yeah. So I've got like vines full of this. So I'm gonna have jarred pickles for months. So
Beautiful.
stop by my place. I'll give you a jar of pickles in
We will.
a week or so.
Yeah.
And in final exciting news, you guys all remember my Americana started laying. So she's actually laying proper sized eggs now.
Ooh,
You can
wow.
see. So these are actually proper sized eggs. My other girl started laying now too.
Oh. What
Congratulations.
color is it
So
white?
this one's kind of like a blush color.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of pinky,
Nice.
kind of blush. So girls,
Very
I
nice
got-
eggs you got.
I've got bougie eggs.
Yeah.
They're very fancy.
I got bougie chickens.
Real quick before we start, Holly, also, Erin wanted to quickly give everyone an update. She was at the Coots
Yes.
trial for the
yes.
sentencing hearing yesterday.
So no, I'm done.
No, sorry. I
Okay.
just wanted to say it before we forget that she's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to share my garden stuff, and I
I
figured,
know,
put-
I'm going to
there's
come and get
nothing more
some.
exciting than when the eggs finally get laid.
yes, yeah.
Yes, there is. It's when they get fertilized. It's just the way it is.
We know what's on your mind.
No, it isn't. It's never that.
Is
All right,
it time?
sorry.
Is the time for that other video that we always play?
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that really quick. We should just get it out of the way. Everybody who hasn't
It
watched our
has to
show,
happen.
this is our mascot. His name is Johnny. I found that out, by the way, ladies.
It's right at the bottom of the
Johnny?
video.
I know. Johnny,
There
our
was a
mascot.
whole bunch of videos. So is there going to be variety now, Chantal?
No, we got to stick with the original.
Okay, is everyone ready?
We're
Is
ready.
everyone ready?
Measure Smith, are you
When you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body.
So that's really,
Here's Johnny.
yeah, but that's all. That's actually, you guys were all tricked into the stream just so we could show you Johnny and his
Yeah.
buddy. I'm just joking.
Johnny and his amazing measurement.
Exactly.
He's an incredible dancer.
He
Yes.
is a good dancer.
So
All
is
right.
there any dancing at trial or what?
No, there's
the
no
hearing?
dirty dancing at the trial. Nobody wants to dance there.
Too bad.
So what happened? They were fact finding, so they were trying to state facts, and they had the Crown. What I didn't understand was the Crown and the judge were doing a lot of what if this had happened? what if that had happened?
Oh,
And
for fuck's
I was
sakes.
like, why are we how are they allowed to do this? So that was weird. I found that strange. So basically, Tony's lawyer was trying to say that he should not be kept in jail for a number of reasons, including his weapons charges. None of his weapons were found anywhere near
Right.
Coots. So that's ridiculous. And they've been found not guilty of conspiracy to murder. So
Right.
all the judge is deciding on is the weapons. So then is the weapons charges. So then on Thursday, I'm not really sure, or today, I think the judge was going to decide what he decided were the facts.
Mhm.
Wednesday, they're breaking. Thursday, I don't know exactly what they do. I think they finish up the fact thing. And then on Friday, the judge is going to sentence them.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Hopefully
it's
he is
free.
reasonable. I was not feeling super optimistic after listening to him,
No.
Yikes.
honestly.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's hard to be fucking optimistic. This has gone on and on and on. It's getting
Yeah.
to be a bit old. It's bullshit. It needs to end.
Is it
Yeah.
900 days now?
It's over
Yeah,
that, isn't it?
920 or something, over 920, I think.
3 birthdays.
Yeah. 2 people in Chris Carver's
full
family have
summers,
died. His
right?
dad and his brother have died.
His
in
dad
this
and his
time.
brother passed away, and
Like,
he was
how awful.
funerals.
You know, they don't even look like the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's sad.
You
That's
know?
horrible. Well, I don't really know how we move from that to the something
Yeah,
else. But
okay,
sorry.
so-
Thanks, Erin. Thanks, really cheering up the group.
Yeah, well,
Well,
thank
I'm
you.
giving away all my kittens, you guys. All my kittens have been given away. Yay!
But
Thank
you
you to my
have-
neighbor
no,
Vern for helping
have-
me with that.
You have 6 more.
Well, they're not ready yet, so I'm
Okay.
just thankful about the first group.
Right. Congratulations.
Yes.
Erin
thank
has
you.
less pussy than she had last week.
Did you
Oh.
read what mine says? All out of free pussy.
All out of
Oh.
pussy.
Good job, Erin.
Oh,
All
and,
right.
and I guess we found our John
Which one?
Who?
John Doe.
Oh, no, it's Johnny. It's not John Doe. It's Johnny.
Are you sure?
No, there's John Doe there. I don't have TikTok.
That's what,
Well, then it's definitely not him.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
We
John
want
Doe, send us a picture.
Yeah. We want dancing videos.
I feel confused. What are we talking about? Who is he?
Yeah, I'm confused too.
I don't know.
It's
what's
Erin's just.
happening.
It's okay. It's
Okay.
okay. It's okay.
That's next week's conspiracy theory.
Exactly.
I didn't study that, so I'm behind.
That's okay. All right. Can we start now, guys? I'm just gonna
Yeah,
get this
let's
off.
do it.
I just want to
Let's
get it
do
done. It's been killing me.
Give it
Okay.
up.
All right. So I need to quickly tell you guys how this happened. We're going to blame Phil Brown, who, by the way, also helped us with this research. And so did Haley. Those 2 are fucking great. And they got so much different information for us. Because we were trying to disprove what the theory is. Okay.
Yes.
That's
spent
what
a
we
lot
spent
of
weeks
time.
trying to, just so we didn't lead you guys to look like assholes. We really don't care what it makes the other guys look like. Honestly, I don't. But I didn't want to make anybody else look like an asshole. So Phil, I just want to show the video really quick from Phil's stream last week that had me just thinking, because I went to Ottawa with these guys. I stayed at this farm in Metcalfe. I was told a different story about it, but I'm going to show you what Phil had said, and then it made me start to search. So I'm going to push play on this. I can push play, Holly.
I want to say I saved it, though. No, it was in the Grant Bristow thing. They used a farm. Listen to this. They used a farm in Metcalfe back in the early 90s during the Grant Bristow dealie to host white supremacist meetups. Right? Think about this for a second. I know I'm getting way off topic here, but you just reminded me of something. So they used, the CSIS used a farm in Metcalfe in the early 90s, right, to host white supremacist meetups, to ensnare these people, to catalog them, right? Where was the goat farm? Oh, what news? It was in Metcalfe. Strange, isn't it? Strange that goat farm was being able to be used for a whole 3 weeks. Nobody complained. Nobody complained at all, right? They made it look legit. There was goats there. It's odd because Philip's a goat, right? Whoa. I heard something about that. Didn't he have to pay out? And the Canadians paid. Sound like the...
Okay, that basically summarizes it. So that happened, and I was thinking, so I started looking at Metcalfe's population just to see, like, is this place that small? Like, because when I was there, Ontario just felt so big. Honestly, I would never have thought of it. It is small. Aaron, I looked up the population of where you are. You got about 5,000 people, and your place is small. In Vulcan. In Metcalfe, there's a population of 1,500, basically.
That's way less. That's
way
like
smaller.
A little village.
What are the, like, of all of the places in Ontario, why would Metcalfe just happen to be the same farm? I don't know. I mean, I met the supposed owner. I have no way to prove if it's his or not. I mean, it could have been bullshit. So anyways, I then ended up sitting there in the middle of the night thinking, it'd be a lot easier if we just asked the people who were at the farm during Grant Bristow's day and find out from them, like, where was this farm? Because obviously they're going to know. If they know it's the same farm, then there we go. We know. And so I started looking up Grant Bristow, and I realized there's nobody looking for Grant Bristow. Nobody. Like, there's no forums on this asshole. There's not a bunch of people who are pissed off at him.
And
like,
he's described as Canada's most famous spy.
Yeah.
But
So
probably by
that's
himself,
odd.
because we notice a lot of things along this way. There's a lot of things. So anyways, so I started looking into it, and I'm laying there. It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at his picture, and all I thought is, oh, he's got those little evil eyebrows. I know someone else who has those little evil eyebrows. Who is it? And I couldn't think of it at first. And I went back and looked, got to picture number 2. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Because then I noticed not only does he have the evil little eyebrows, but he's also got the fucking crooked teeth. And they're like British. Sorry, Holly, I know you're from England, but you got beautiful teeth. But you know what I mean? He's got like almost stereotypical British teeth. So I took a screenshot. I sent it to you girls. A screenshot of both. I didn't tell you who is who. I don't know that everybody, I don't think Jarna would have known Don best. And you guys replied with, that's the same person. And then I sent it to Phil and Haley, same reaction. And then I let everybody know who they were. So that is how we ended up starting to deep dive on this. And I won't make you guys wait much longer, but you got to hear us out first, really quick. We're going to go on for an hour after this and give you all of the information we found that stopped us from being able to prove that we're wrong.
Or couldn't find, right? Or couldn't find.
We couldn't. It was very, there's so many coincidences, guys. It's actually crazy. So both of them were about the same age, give or take by 3 years, depending on which article you look at. So they're both 70-ish now. I'm going to push play on the video and reveal. And yeah.
Pictures 25-30 wires apart. Evil eyebrows, hooded eyes, same crooked teeth.
For me, it's the nose. Exact same nose.
Well, I don't know. So that is Donald Best. For those of you who don't know who this idiot is, he is a he's got a lot of exceptional traits that he likes to tell people about that we could verify none of. And he is he always on Jason Levine's stream, and it's just there's just too many things. So I'll leave it to you now, maybe a little bit, Holly, if you want. Now I just wanted to make sure we rip that Band-Aid off.
Okay, so the Band-Aid is ripped off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure everyone knows where Grant Bristow is from.
Right. Thank you. I forgot that part. I'm so excited just to tell it.
So we gotta rewind back to the 1990s.
80s.
Well,
80s,
yeah.
So the 1990s was the height of the Heritage Front, which was like a far right white nationalist group that was operating in Canada. And they were operating out in the open, and they were super proud of everything that they were doing. But to go even further back, we have to go back to the 80s. So I've got my notes here.
Yeah. All right.
So in February 1987, Grant Bristow was assigned to infiltrate the far right movement that's in Canada by a certain organization in Canada, the government. So that his job was to infiltrate the far right and collect data. So that was his job, was to go in as deep undercover and collect data on this movement that was happening in the late 80s with far right groups and the dangers that could possibly come about from that. So,
and can I just add before that, he had been an investigator with Kuhn and Nagel. Did I say that right? And it was like a securities investigation, and like he got that job by being a private investigator. And before that, he was a failed comedian.
Yeah, so he graduated.
Stand-up comedian, not a
failed stand-up comedian.
He graduated community college, and then got a job with a shipping company that you had named as securities. And his dream was to be a private investigator, police officer, detective, or a cop. And out of school, he got a job at a strip club. And he manipulated, like, he basically was just the bartender, but he manipulated several of the patrons at the strip club.
He was the DJ.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. He was the DJ. But he manipulated people, saying that he was the assistant manager, even though he was only the DJ. So he got really good at gaslighting, manipulating, and setting up situations where people would believe what he was talking about. So that led to his career eventually with CSIS. So fast forward, his first contact. So this is in 1987 that Bristow was assigned to infiltrate. So his first contact was Max French. So Max French was one of the leaders of the alt-right white supremacist group that was active in Canada in that time.
And sorry, Holly, I just want to interrupt really quick. He is still alive, and if he would like to send us an email to verify anything that we're talking about, he's welcome to.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that, because I was trying to find him.
Yes, so we went down the rabbit hole trying to find this Max French guy. Max French did not like Grant Bristow. So their relationship didn't develop, so that became a dead end for this operation that he was trying to infiltrate. So 1988 was when he met Don Andrews. So Bristow met Don Andrews, and Don Andrews was the leader of the Naturalist Party of Canada. So that was like another white supremacist party in Canada. So Don Andrews, and he was the one that formed the Edmund Burke Society, which was an anti-communist, pro-Vietnam War, which was very weird. But that dissolved in 1972. So he was originally a leader of one of these parties anyway. So he then started the Western Guard Party, which was outright racist. They were anti-Semitic. They were pro-white power, like just the worst of the worst when it comes to like alt-right situations, right? So in 1975, Don Andrews was arrested for illegal weapons possession. We've heard that before.
Yeah.
But of course,
A lot of them.
So he had illegal weapons possession charges brought against him, but of course it resulted in no conviction.
Right.
But part of that was he had to distance himself from the Western Guard.
And what about I thought that they were caught planning a bombing of the Israeli soccer team's
That's later.
dressing room. Oh, that's later. Okay.
So in 1977, Don started the Nationalist Party of Canada. So that was actually supposed to be a political party that would have delegates and people elected to members of parliament and all that stuff. So he wanted to actually get this into government and go legit. So Bristow, he targeted Don Andrews and dedicated himself to gain acceptance. So in 1988, that was when Operation Governor started with CSIS. So Bristow, he successfully had entered the alt-right world. He started building this persona of himself where he started sending, like at work, he started sending really racist comics and cartoons and making really racist, like anti-Semitic remarks and joking about white power and stuff. So he had built this persona of himself that he was this like super white power dude. But the funniest part about him was his mother was an activist towards I guess you could call it globalism and accepting people and anti-racist stuff. And his mother had instilled in him this belief of being accepting of all peoples and one world, one love. And his stepfather was Jewish, and he had met Jewish people through his stepfather and learned all about the Holocaust and everything that had happened there. So he went from this very Semitic person that was very involved in that world to now this. So he had completely done a 180 in his life. So
anything for attention, really. That's what I look at. I read it as that. Yeah. Like, you're just a con artist piece of shit.
He was a total con artist because he was able to con people at the strip club to think that he was the assistant manager of the freaking club when he was only the DJ.
Yeah.
So when Bristow successfully infiltrated the alt-right movement in Canada at that time, all he was supposed to do, the instructions were to collect facts, names, addresses, phone numbers, and of course, intentions. So if there was any intentions or any plans that were made, he was to report that back to CSIS. So it was a fact-finding only operation.
Yes, mostly in Rumble, though, just so you know.
Yeah.
Mostly in Rumble, quote the Raven.
So
so he was busy doing that, even though a lot of accounts say that he actually was like an instrumental builder of it. But keep going.
Well, yeah, that comes now.
Yeah,
so
later.
Originally the movement.
You support Trump? Whoops.
Wow, Jarna, way to plug Trump during our stream.
Jarna, we're not talking about the alt-right US shit. So I got to go back. Okay, so this original movement was only about 300 people that were a part of the group, and they were poverty-stricken, uneducated, kind of like, not to paint with a brush, but the typical backwoods yokel white supremacist type people. And the dream is to bring it mainstream and bring it into a political party and create something that was quote unquote legitimate.
And I think they wanted a younger group of people too.
Yes.
Well, you definitely always want to target younger people.
Oh yeah.
So don't need a bunch of geriatrics.
That comes later. So in 1989, Wolfgang Droege, he was the BC KKK dude, right? Real bad dude.
There's KKK in Canada?
Yeah, dude, there totally was. Like back in the late 80s, early 90s, there were KKK groups that operated across Canada.
They're trying to start a new one. It's called the SSC. Or no, it's just SS Canada.
Really?
I thought that was from
Okay, keep going.
Game of Thrones.
Okay, so
Wolfgang
Droege, he was the BC KKK member. He was actually put in jail for KKK stuff, and his group disbanded. But with Bristow, and the other dude, they started Heritage Front. So they gathered up all the people that were originally a part of this whole KKK group and brought them into Heritage Front, saying, "Hey, we're alt-right too." And then they brought these people in.
Yeah.
So part of this was the birth of the Heritage Front. So Bristow and Dogie would ditch the destitute, like the hangers-on, the ones that were not really doing anything, that didn't bring any value to the group. And it was essentially Bristow called it a failing cult, which was interesting. So they wanted to build something that was quote unquote real and build it with middle class, young, college educated people. So the focus,
exactly.
Yes, it
so like the
does.
Spider-Man meme, right? So so they wanted to ditch these other people, and they wanted this young, fresh, educated, middle class people with money to try and build them for there. So that's where they started peppering universities and high schools with their propaganda, like, call us at this hotline. So Drogi was easily swayed to take over this new organization, the Heritage Front. The best part was Gaddafi hosted a party in 1989 to bring together society's worst individuals from the extreme left and the extreme right. So Gaddafi had a party, and
what a fucking fun game to play, though.
Isn't that funny?
So if you're rich like that, you're just like, you know what? Let's just bring all of the evil, like the baddest of the bad together, and let's just watch them party.
Yeah, let's have the evil league of evil come together, and we'll just party together and talk about how like supremacist we are. Like, what do you talk about at these things anyway?
So and I think Donald Andrews was supposed to go, right? But then he couldn't. Is that right?
Don ended up getting arrested, and he wasn't able to go.
Yeah.
So Bristow was put in as
unavailable
as the person that was going to go.
God.
So he was chosen to go on this all expenses paid trip to Libya to go meet with Gaddafi and go meet with the rest of the white Supremes. And so this part of this was the catalyst to the solidification of the Heritage Front. So September 25th, 1989, that was the official birth of the Heritage Front. So 1989 was when it officially started. So all of this backstory goes up to that. So the original starters were formed by Wolfgang Drogi, Jerry Lincoln, James Dawson, and Grant Bristow. Grant Bristow was supposed to be just the security and just the background, and Drogi
sounds a little like Alex's friend, if you ask me.
Drogi was supposed to be the face of the organization. He's the one that wanted all the fame. He wanted all the power. He wanted to
that
be...
sounds like
that
fucking
sounds
Jeremy.
like somebody else we know.
Holly.
That sounds like
Holly.
The lady midget.
Haley says,
and then fucking
yes.
Alex.
No, she doesn't mean they're all evil.
Bristow.
This is all just information, and I'm just presenting information.
Donald is evil, but
yeah. So everyone, calm down.
Yes, Donald's evil.
So Drogi becomes the leader. He's very bloodthirsty, and he wants to do a lot of violence and do a lot of the illegals. And part of Bristow's operative is that everything had to be above the board and nothing illegal, and he had to push this ideology, but he had to make sure that nobody was breaking the law. There was no violence, there was no theft, there was no vandalism. He had to make sure that people were angry and frustrated, but just angry enough, not angry where they actually go grab the torches and pitchforks and go like burn down stuff.
Gross.
Okay. Sorry, so Grant manipulated the group throughout the entire history of Heritage Front to make sure that it wasn't violent. And Drogi was the one that wanted to do the violence.
Yeah, because he was at least passionate and really meant what he fucking said.
Well, he was incredibly passionate about his beliefs, and he really meant like what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
and
he was serious.
Bristow, his operative was to keep it under wraps, keep it simmering,
under control.
keep it under control and make sure that he just gathered up information, phone numbers, names, affiliations, and created a list for the government. So
weird. Never heard of that before. Has anybody heard of that before? That's so weird. It's not like we've actually ever heard of that before. Not this year. Not from Diagolon.
Another funny connection was in the late 1990s, Grant met Ernst Zundel. I'm sure a lot of people know who Ernst Zundel is. And Grant calls him a payday Nazi. He only wanted to make money off of the hate. He didn't actually believe in the ideology and creating a better world.
Weird.
So he
it's
wrote
almost
books.
like he crafted an identity to fucking get people going and hey, buy my shit.
Yeah,
weird. I've never heard that either. That's so weird. It's almost like it's a coincidence.
He created merch. He sold things on the manipulation of drumming up all of this hate.
Yeah.
And then getting these people to spend their money to show that they're a part of the group. And this is
weird.
The 1990s.
Yeah, apparently there was like, you'd have to pay a fee if you wanted to join. You'd have to pay a fee for like things. So he was always making people pay to be in the group too.
Yeah. Weird. Super weird. It's almost like having to watch
like
behind a paywall. No empires that charge $5.
Now, are you going to talk about Tom Metzger from the States and what they did?
No, I'm going to kind of
a while.
Gloss over that. So in 1981, Grant met with Terry Long and Al Hooper. They were the big wigs out in Western Canada, so BC and Alberta. So they were the leadership in the groups that are out there. So Bristow was given, he met with these dudes out in Alberta and BC that were KKK leaders and white supremacist group leaders. And they were given, like, Bristow was so trusted and he was so infiltrated into the group now, they gave him full access to their membership lists and to the names of the people who were affiliated and their phone numbers and their addresses and everything, because Bristow was talking about building a coast-to-coast Canadian.
I've never heard of anything like that. I mean, wait, I have. Such a coincidence.
Yeah.
How many fucking coincidences do we need? But that's fine. Continue.
Right? So at that time, Bristow was invited to go to Dachau to go see one of the concentration camps at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I can't remember who went with him. I don't have that written down, but basically the two of them started teaching about the Holocaust, I guess. And it was a big publicity stunt in my eyes. It was a big publicity stunt to get them kicked out, to give Bristow more cred in that world.
Right. So
he didn't do it because it's something that he totally believed in. It was something that he did to give him more cred because he got kicked out of Krakow. So at the same time, Bristow met up with members of the Reform Party, which was a new party, a new conservative party that was starting up in Canada at the time. Bristow offered Heritage Front people as free security services when these
what a fucking bad decision. I'm going to have the white supremacists. They're going to be my security, and I'm going to run for office. They wouldn't fly this year.
Bristow actually provided security for Preston Manning himself for free as a way to get exposure for Heritage Front.
What a dickhead.
That eventually did all fall apart, and then the Reform Party did, disavow and move away. And
when it's no longer useful.
Yeah. And
I'm sure CSIS is watching. I'm glad they're watching. I don't really give a shit, honestly.
Well, this is everything it's published. It's all
you guys started it. You guys wanted to reuse these same people.
I'm sure if anybody knows anything about Grant Bristow, they know about the IT campaign.
Oh, I know about it because I've experienced it. Because these fucking psychos they do the same exact game plan every fucking time.
So let me know if anybody recognizes this motive.
Yeah.
So essentially what happened was Heritage Front opened in September of that year, 1991. They opened up their hotline, and they dispersed leaflets to high schools, colleges, and this is where Elisa Hadigan was recruited and joined the Heritage Front at 16 years old. This little girl was 16 years old when she was.
Sounds like a parenting issue, but
wasn't she from? She was from Romania.
She's a Romanian refugee that was a runaway. Yeah. She had no family.
They came over when she was 11 or something.
Yeah, like she was very, very young and impressionable. So that was when they started the IT campaign. And the concept of the IT campaign was the leadership of the Heritage Front decided who was it. And it usually was somebody who was a protester against the group, or somebody who was a
defector,
or somebody who
it was
speaking out.
Just anti-racism people that they identified.
Yeah, so they would
identify. They would target them until they gave them more people to target. That was
they would give them more people to target, and they called, like, this was before the internet.
Yeah.
So they would call these people's home phones, and that
probably
was back when we had answering machines, or they'd call their place of employment, or they would call their family, and they would incessantly call because that
harassment.
And they would harass them, and they would send them horrible messages and call them everything under the sun. And
I wonder if they got called fat whores or like dumb fucking meth heads or alcoholics.
They threatened their lives. They threatened their lives.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out that again. There's another parallel between Diagolon and those fucking idiots
Jewish
and their IT campaign.
She's Jewish, and that just
they do it now.
Me. Her and Grant Bristow are both Jewish.
They're both Jewish.
That's so awkward.
Well, Bristow started this maintaining that he was doing this as anti-racist to try to stop it, but pretty sure he can't maintain.
Well, see, that's what
they
do. They infiltrate from within and then destroy from within.
Wait, are we live on Rumble? Somebody's saying here that it's not working.
Yeah, there's Rumble stuff going.
Yeah?
Yeah, Rumble's going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rumble's going.
That's where the best chat is.
So in 1993, that was when the IT campaign started. So that the reason why the IT campaign was started and suggested was because there was membership in the group that really wanted to do the violences. They really wanted to do the terrors.
Mm-hmm.
They really wanted to do the racisms. And Bristow was instructed explicitly there was none of that was going to happen. So he suggested the IT campaign to be a pressure relief valve for this bubbling up stress and frustration.
I think that's a cop-out load of shit, because I'm going to tell you, the people that are doing these harassment campaigns that I've experienced, I think they like literally get off on it, honestly. Like, I don't think it's a pressure relief valve. They don't actually have to face anybody who knock them the fuck out. They can do it on the internet, and then they really think they're really hardcore. I mean, they've been going, well, they stopped after, like, just like whatever. But they went for, 2-3 days straight just this weekend. And they have multiple people. I can tell because the spelling changes and whatever. But I think they get off on it.
The IT campaign, right? And it's basically just a harassment campaign to upset or to make people break, right?
Yeah, no, it just makes me look into them more, actually. So they probably should just fuck off, because I'm just gonna keep blowing them up. I don't really care. Like, it's not gonna I will never submit to that shit.
So May 29, 1993, the Heritage Front had a rally in Ottawa, and 60 members were marched. 60 members of this group marched to the War Memorial on May 29th, 1993. And they had just been at a concert, and the band that was playing encouraged the members of their audience to go to the War Memorial and start some shit.
Was that the War Memorial in Ottawa, did you say?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, weird. That's where we all kept going.
Weird. And so
many coincidences.
These 60 people were encouraged to go to the War Memorial, where there was over 500 counter protesters there.
Okay, so there wasn't that.
60 people?
60, yeah. And so that was where Alicia Rex was injured.
Oh
She was
yeah,
kicked in the
yeah.
face or something. Her nose was broken. So her picture was taken, and that was basically the evidence that was needed to put this on plastered all over all media, the headlines, everything like that. So so this battle that happened, it was a huge failure. So it caused a lot of splinter organizations to start fracturing off from Heritage Front because Bristow wasn't violent enough. He just wanted to do the IT campaign. The other guys in the leadership, they wanted to do more with the groups that they had. So it splintered off in a fraction, like different groups, and nobody was happy about that because they wanted to keep it under one umbrella, under one puppet master, under one control. So at this point, this is when Drogi was
What's that
arrested.
sound?
That's not-
My cat.
Okay.
Oh.
She's taking a shit, Rocky.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Sorry. We are going to get back to the Bristow part and who it is and the back to the best, I promise.
So
she just tried to give you an information
yeah,
of who he
so
is.
basically in 1993, the hate hotline was shut down. The rallies had stopped because
hate
he was
hotline.
arrested. The members became frustrated with Bristow because his lack of bloodlust, and that was the comments that were made.
He's probably just a little liar like Jeremy and Alex, honestly. Where it's talk. You can only listen for so long.
Yeah, and then Bristow left officially March 1994. That's when he became Nathan Black. And that was when Nathan
apparently, yeah.
She's taking a dag. Yeah, pretty much. So that was when Nathan Black became a middle-class husband with him and his wife living in beautiful St. Albert, Edmonton. He was found, and then it blew up. And then that was when the CSIS involvement blew up. And that was when Canada found out that CSIS was involved in the NF in Canada. And I remember that was huge news, that it was the government that started this group that brought all these people together and funded it and paid for everything. And it exploded all over the internet. He was moved around again. He was given another house. He was given a monthly allowance. He was given all that stuff.
Well, maybe not on the internet, right? Because there wouldn't have been internet yet.
No, there was internet.
There was internet. There was something about chat rooms.
Was there?
Or maybe that was something with Best.
We're talking about 95. In 95, there was chat rooms in the internet.
Was there?
Yes.
Yeah, there was
at the very beginning.
Yahoo and AOL, man.
Yeah, it's when ICQ was going and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
crazy. So when he got caught, right?
Bristow?
Like he had been outed.
Like,
he got outed.
He got outed once because he tried to move away from this and just live his life with his wife and his stepson.
Yeah.
And then he got outed when this all came out, that this was all
that was in St. Paul's. That was in St. Paul's where he got outed. Yeah.
So in St. Paul's he got outed. Then CSIS plucked him out and said, "Okay, we're going to give you a new identity. You're Nathan Black now, and your wife is Catherine Black, and your kid is Little Black, and you guys are going to go live in St. Albert." And then he got outed again because they found him.
Yeah.
There was a disgruntled.
Because I think he's a little fuck who can't shut his mouth and he likes to insert himself where you shouldn't, obviously.
Part of the reason why he was outed was because at his stepfather's funeral,
he was telling
he was bragging about
see, that's what I mean. As in Donald Best. This is so Donald Best. Like, forget it. You don't even need the look-alike. He's just an arrogant little motherfucker.
Well, to the point where his brother-in-law was willing to give pictures for money.
For money. And you know what pisses me off about all the
Nobody took him up on it,
all these articles. So we did go down the rabbit hole. I went and I've on that page, the Heritage Front point, it's just 2, not 2.0. I don't know why I put 0.0. Anyways, Heritage Front 2, you'll see. We went to every single news article about Grant, and they're all their information is captured from this 1995 article.
Yeah.
And they're non-stories. Most of them are absolute non-stories. It's just like a recap almost. And half of them don't. Wait. Hold on. Half of them don't have a journalist even attached to it. Just nothing.
Yeah.
There's no author. So
No,
that's
why wouldn't you put your name on it?
So
and not one
researching
picture.
this, it's all the same story. It's all the same reiteration of what happened, and there's no author to the article. Like there's a few words changed, there's maybe a couple new dates and some new information, but it's all exactly the same.
It's like as if the government is writing it.
Kinda.
No, it's like really like very much.
If you read a majority of those articles with Best about Best anywhere are all they repeat that Wikipedia.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. So this is
the
so
same
this is
articles in the beginning.
That's the one thing that between these two fuckers, that's the one thing that is very consistent. They have absolutely only one little blop of information, and that's the same shit that's regurgitated. I'm telling you, I could take anybody in this chat right now if they gave me their name. I don't care if they've been on a stream or anything like that. We could find out more information than we found out about when we found out about Donald Best or Grant Bristow. The lack of information is almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
And the fact is,
there's not even a birthday, middle names, fucking nothing.
There is some information. So, like in the year 2000, him and his wife divorced. In 2004, that was when Bristow did an interview. I can't find that interview anywhere.
Yeah, weird. So he might not have done it. So that's
if anybody finds that, please send it our way. In 2005, Drogi was he was murdered during a bad drug deal. He was killed by the person he was selling drugs to.
Yeah.
So
did someone just say stop swearing? I will not fucking stop swearing. Yes. No, I'm not gonna stop.
Then the last thing that I heard about, but I can't find anything about, is in 2009. He's working as a marketing consultant somewhere in Western Canada. And in 2009, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, but he survived. So he was diagnosed with it. He got
this is what they're saying. This is what they're releasing. So that's what
I cannot find anything that corroborates that information.
Any of it
from the 2000s. No. So that's my presentation on Heritage Front from the beginning
thanks, Holly.
To the very end.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm so sick of this group, and I'm so sick of Dawn and researching this that I'm like, honestly, I'm burnt out with it.
Yeah.
Real quick, do you guys mind if I just play the video again because some people didn't see it?
Yep.
I'm just going to play the sneaky peek. Hold on.
Pictures 25-30 wires apart. Evil eyebrows, hooded eyes, same crooked teeth.
So it's interesting. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does often rhyme. The saying that I know is history doesn't repeat itself, but it often echoes. Right? It's because I'm an immigrant and I come from a different country.
That your ideas are different. Where did Rocky go?
I don't know where she went.
I don't know where she went. So
great.
Moving on after that, because I've got the synopsis here of the stream that I was instructed to use by Miss Bossy Pants, so I have to be Miss Bossy Pants now. Okay, so if anybody wants to get any more information about our deep dives and what we dug up, the the Telegram page is listed down below, scrolling. So everything that we're discussing is just a hypothesis. It's just a fun coincidence that we've come to. And we need everyone to take a look at this, do their own deep dives, take a look. I mean, it could be true, it couldn't be true.
And please prove us wrong if you can find any of the information and fill in holes and maybe even get like people that were involved to contact us. Fuck yeah, do it, please.
Yeah, prove us wrong. Like that, I enjoy that because then we can put this to bed and go, oh, okay, cool, not true. Because there were a few things that came out that I'm just like, yeah, there's no way. No, it's just a weird ass coincidence.
Yeah, there was absolutely no. I could find absolutely nothing about Donald Best being a police detective or being a motorcycle cop because there's nothing there. It's all donaldbest.ca online, pages and pages and pages of it, and there's absolutely nothing about him prior to, what do you think, like around 2005 something, 2010 even, that Donald Best becomes Donald Best, and then there's nothing before that.
It was really interesting because when Best started streaming with Lavigne, that was when all of a sudden he just came on the scene as this authoritative voice, and he had all the information, and I was like, oh, cool, okay, who is this guy? My first reaction is to go and research who this person is. What are their credentials? Why should I respect them? Why should I listen to what they're talking about? That's just who I am. And the first thing I found was the lawsuit that was in Barbados.
Which is wild.
Oh, that land thing. Yeah, it was so hard to follow.
Very wild.
Yeah, it was really strange. So that was my first exposure, but of course he explained it away. He was out of the country. They did him dirty. That's why he went to jail. So he's legit because he's actually spent time behind bars and he was screwed by the system. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. Believable, right? Like it's a believable story.
It is a believable story at first.
It makes sense.
You know?
Right. So, let's see. So we're going to, so Rocky's supposed to talk about that, but she's.
Well, what I think is quite noticeable is the parallels between what Grant Bristow's purpose was in the Heritage Front and what he's doing, what Donald Best is doing on Jason's show. There's a lot of narrative laying down on Jason's show. He seems to be brought in as some kind of a warrants expert. What else was he? They always say he's some kind of an expert because he was a police officer. But again, was he?
Best, yeah. Well, he was a fraud expert. So there was that big satellites case or something that they talk about him being in deep cover. Well, all he did was gain the guy's the guy that was doing the piracy. He gained his trust for a year. He became one of the people. I can't remember what it's called. He basically became one of those people that were doling out the piracy, however the fuck that works. And then he turned around and tattled on him. So when you have cops like this, when they're deep cover, you know, they go in there and they're collecting information by any means necessary.
Yeah, but and I
that's include being a fraud your fucking self. Fraud investigation. You have to be a fraud to fucking know it.
Yeah. But and they definitely did more than just that. So for example, when Grant Bristow was in main part of the Heritage Front, they invited this Tom Metzger guy who was a racist in the States to come and talk in Canada. Of course, it was him that invited him. They know he's going to say racist stuff, whatever. They bring him over. He gets to cross the border, which he himself said he thought was funny how he got across the border. Yep. Then he does the speech, and then 2 days later, they arrest him so that they can say, oh, we arrested this guy. But really, they planned the whole thing. There's a video talking about this if Rocky ever comes back. So it's like they planned this racist from the States to come. Then the CSIS is totally planning this. They invite him. Then CSIS arrests him so they can be the good guy. And it's just like, it's all a construction from CSIS.
Here's an interesting fact. America has a CSIS.
Really?
Did you know that?
No.
Anybody know that? No, nobody.
Isn't it the
1962. No, it's really CSIS.
Oh.
It's called the Center for Strategic and International Studies, and what it does is they're a think tank based out of Washington, and they focus on international, like, public policy issues, defense and security, economic policy, global health, shit like that. And their job is to research, hold discussions, publish reports, blah, blah, blah. But it's essentially the same thing as CSIS up there. You're all gathering information that's going to result in some kind of arrest, that's going to set some kind of precedent for some kind of case somewhere.
Well,
guys,
it's
my
supposed
situation's,
to.
wait, one second. Can I say something? My situation's about to get fucked up here. I can feel it. My, like, shit's getting really, it's not working very well. So I just want to say one thing before I leave really quick, because I might have to leave right now. Real quick, I want to make sure this one gets out. The picture we got of Donald Best that we keep using for the side-by-side, that is a picture that he had with from a blog post. You can find all of this again on the Telegram page at Heritage Front 2. And it is it's a picture of him and Romeo Dallaire, who is this is Haley, the genius, who picked up on this. He's apparently a Trudeau insider, and he is the one who started the Omar Khadr event. He's the one who put that on. And if we don't, we just really quick, can you push play, because I can't really quick, just only 20 seconds of it. This is Jeremy's moment where he went viral at the Omar Khadr event. This video just happened to be there.
That Dallaire that's photographed with Best.
Yes.
The
white-haired man that is with Best is, but Jeremy's video, the viral video, you'll see it down there.
I don't see a video.
Hold on, I can try and find it and post it.
Yeah, it's not there.
For fuck's sakes, you guys. Hold on, I'm gonna add it, I guess. If I go away, then sorry, but I'll try and make it work. 1 second.
Hey, what about these other videos? Where do they go?
Got it. I got it.
Yeah, we'll have to start playing these videos. We made quite a few.
All right, you guys play a different one. It's not gonna work.
Okay, there's the one on the plane.
So this is a plane.
We're talking about a lot of serious stuff here. We've got this funny one to show you, and it's not Rocky's boyfriend.
The plane.
Say whatever you want. I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
For every mystery, there is someone somewhere who knows the truth. Perhaps that someone was watching. Perhaps it's you.
It's funny. We've got this one here that talks about the database, and this was ripped from a video that we'll have to put in the comments that does a deep dive into Heritage Front.
That's all on the it's in the Telegram channel too.
Yeah, it's all in the Telegram channel if you guys want to go and do your own deep dive into this fun little mind exercise we're doing tonight.
1991, Grant found himself hopping on a plane to talk to Terry Long and Al Hooper, two leaders of sister BC and Alberta area nationalist factions. Welcoming him with a warm reception, Bristow was provided with complete information of all their members under the guise of setting up a white supremacist computer network. He had successfully unearthed the roster of the entire Western Canadian hate movement in a matter of months. CSIS was obviously pleased with him.
So he did good work. He did good undercover work.
Yeah, we need to play some videos of Grant Bristow talking and then Donald Best. Can you guys play those? I made some.
Yeah, I've got this one here.
Okay. Because I feel like they have the same cadence of speech if you listen to them.
Okay.
And we don't know if he did or did not have throat cancer to change his voice slightly. Like his voice is a little bit more like an older man, but I don't know what to say about that, right?
It might be just age, right? We all change.
Yeah, that's right.
As the old lady in the group.
Yeah.
The paper mentions how Grant was antagonistic towards all of the young recruits of the front. It seems to be a technique to force them out early. Elisa still claims that Grant was far more into the Heritage Front than he or CSIS let on.
In all her affidavits, she swears that Grant used far more than 21 grand and actively threatened people's lives. Add to that the constant recruitment for membership fees and pledge drives for donations, and she says that he made the front far more profitable than it should have been. He connected some incredibly dangerous people together and gave them skills to find information for harassment purposes, and possibly for something worse. He was constantly protected by CSIS at every turn, yet her and other defectors see no support. Perhaps the worst aspect of it is that despite all the information, not one of the Heritage Front members was ever convicted of anything based on the information Grant provided. Sure, they went to jail on weapons and assault charges, but those were handed down by beat cops in the street. The investigation, she says, did nothing and possibly made things worse. Bill Dunphy and the CBC agreed. Despite calls for him to be charged and jailed, Grant would walk away from the accusations a free man.
No, that's not what I was thinking of, but those were good.
Yeah. This one, too, is interesting that I found about the weapons charges that were brought against Bristow, and this sounds very familiar.
Without Grant Bristow, there probably wouldn't have been a Heritage Front. And if there was, I don't believe it would have been as effective.
Expecting that it's going to be dirty and it's going to be violent because that's the nature of a neo-Nazi organization like the Heritage Front. But you don't expect that to come from the government. You don't expect it to be somebody who's actually paid to go and do that and to orchestrate it and to organize other people to do it. You don't expect them to have someone paid to make phone calls, to make threats, to make your life miserable.
In September 1991, police swooped down on a car at a busy Toronto intersection and arrested this American racist, Sean McGuire, and found guns in the trunk. The problem was, the man driving the car was Grant Bristow, and the guns in the trunk were his.
Yeah, time after time, it's just the feds.
There's a lot of coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the good clip. I think there's probably two more.
I just added some more.
Yep, I got it. Okay, so here's the Omar Khadr affair and the weird.
What are the odds that Donald Best is friends with this guy? Has a picture of them with their arms around each other. Jeremy just happens to go viral at the event that this man had put on. There's just too many overlapping coincidences.
Yeah.
I'm a Canadian Forces Afghanistan combat veteran. I deployed with 2nd Battalion Royal Canadian Regiment in 2007 to fight these people, actually, to fight Omar Khadr's extended family. They all participate. They love the Taliban, which he was a member of. And I absolutely detest and abhor the fact that they would even call him such a thing as a child soldier. Calling him a soldier at all is an insult to the Waffen-SS, let alone...
I can't even listen to him. I can't listen to him, but I just want to say... He is targeting the veterans. This is what he's doing. Now he's gone. You guys, anybody who's not paying attention, he's accelerating into this SSC, Second Sons of Canada. And I've heard from people who are trying to leave and whatever are leaving that a lot of these vets are talking about it behind the scenes. They're like, yeah, we didn't really get into it for the whole white supremacist. That wasn't the agenda. And yet here we are, and they're not even sure how to get out. So that's the whole thing is just disgusting and sad. But I do believe, can you girls get into the report at some point? I'm probably going to have to go off because it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
Because the report ties them all together with Jason Lavigne. Where did Donald even get legitimized on the street?
Yeah.
It was through Jason Lavigne. Jason Lavigne caused the fights. Yeah.
Jason Lavigne came into the scene during the Coots trial. That's when he started doing the report.
It was like midsummer, just before the envelope. He came in.
And so he started doing, I would say, decent reporting, talking to the different families, talking to the people that were involved.
But quickly they were feeling like he wasn't listening to what they were concerned about for like the publication bans or whatever, to try to listen to their concerns. And so he was just kind of going off and doing his own thing.
Yeah.
But also really quick, girls, who is Jason Lavigne's very first guest?
Jason Lavigne's very first guest that rocketed him to a position of authority in that circle was Mackenzie.
Yeah.
And it was announced on all of the channels. It was announced. That's how everyone got to know who Lavigne was. And then once Lavigne developed his credibility within the community, that was when he brought on this expert.
Yeah.
And
I think it was so that they had this sort of judicial expert air to them.
Mm-hmm.
And he was supposed to be some kind of like, again, was he a detective? If you listen to the show, they're always saying he's an expert on this, he's an expert on that, and it's like, how can he be an expert on all those things?
Well, that's when you appear in court. This is my understanding because I'm just a woman. It's my understanding that when you present an expert in court, the first thing that person is cross-examined on is their credentials and why they are being brought forward as an expert on said subject.
Yeah, and they're not always accepted either as an expert.
And a lot of times their credentials are debunked, or they're considered not valid, or they're discredited, and they are no longer used as a credible expert. And when experts do come forward, they come with a huge package of education or experience or previous lawsuits that they've represented, or something documented as to why that person is an expert. I mean,
that's right.
I could come forward and say I'm an expert on growing cabbages.
Yeah.
I've grown 9 of them.
Yeah.
And they're all huge and beautiful.
Yes, they are. I was looking at the cabbage I bought today and I was thinking, God damn it, why isn't my cabbage as big as Holly's?
But in all honesty, that was just luck at the draw. I just happened to grow some nice cabbages. That does not make me an expert gardener whatsoever. But I could dupe people into thinking that I was an expert gardener because of my successes this season, just because it happened to be a fantastic growing season. And you all would agree with me if I was that kind of person that was able to pull that sort of facade.
Speaking of convincing people of that shit, Bristow, didn't he want to be a PI or a cop or something like that?
It was his dream.
Yeah.
That was his dream.
Yeah, that's what he wanted.
PI, to be a cop.
But he did. I think he did manage to be a PI for a little while because it said that he was a PI after he got fired from drinking too much at the strip club where he was the DJ.
Yeah, well,
and luckily, and then he got that job at that Coonan and Nagel place after he was a private investigator for a while.
Well, what got CSIS's attention with Bristow was he somehow finagled his way into being a private investigator or being security or something for a South American dictator.
That's right.
Yes, he did such a good job, and he got so deep into their world that CSIS contacted him and said, "Hey, we want you to work for us to help take these people down."
That's right.
And his information that he gathered was able to get a bunch of people arrested.
Yeah,
in South American,
that's right.
Bad guys arrested. So he's good at his job. He's very good at his job. And that's how he was able to infiltrate the alt-right in Canada.
Or he was good at...
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
People are dropping like flies.
I just find it really shocking. You know, because they discussed in that CBC interview from like 1994 or something like that.
Yeah.
About how like the rules are that you're not to influence, you're not to direct, you're not to create.
Yes.
That is, but he did all those things. Obviously, he did all those things endlessly.
He was directly involved.
Yeah, and in that report, they were like, I think it went well. I don't know, you know, and I did make some clips where it's quite ominous how they finished that documentary, because one of the participants says, well, he created the whole thing, plus he lit the flame, he lit the torch, and it's still burning in a lot of people. So it's like they made white supremacy what it is today.
Yes. Yeah, they brought these people together and laid down groundwork to have this sort of society in Canada. And the most upsetting part about this is in 2020, when all of that fun stuff was happening in Canada, there was a lot of vulnerable, excommunicated, lonely, I guess you can say, people that had been disenfranchised, emotionally destitute people that found the dissidents. And it wasn't back then, it wasn't even the dissident right, it was just the dissident. So the people that didn't agree with what was going on, and they found this community that had nothing to do with any sort of supremacy.
No, that's right.
Like that, right? So
that's right.
It had nothing to do with that. And these people were just anti-authority, which that's me. I've always been. I'm a Gen X.
Right.
I'm anti-authority, just is a part of my DNA and generation. My generational upbringing has always been anti-authority.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that it was well before I decided to cut ties with everything, but now it's become people's lifeblood, and now it's evolved into this situation that echoes what happened in the 90s with people that were feeling, not part of the mainstream, or they were looking to belong, or they were looking to be a part of something, and then they got sucked into being a little,
ending up in and out of control white supremacist group.
In and out of control white supremacist group.
Well, the thing that gets me with all of that, having been a part of it, like I remember there was a point in time where they're like, kick out all the white supremacists, like anybody who's like that, kick them out. We're gonna get away from that, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden it was like, I don't know, 6 months later or some shit like that, and it was like full fucking Hail Hitler and whatever. And I'm like, whoa,
like throwing up Romans and hating the J people and all that stuff. And I'm kind of like, holy shit.
Like, how did this happen? We used to be pure.
How did this happen? Right? And there was a lot of people.
There was a lot of it in there before. It's just nobody was like very open about it. I mean, there were so many funny conversations about that kind of shit, like within the admin rooms and the chat rooms and stuff beforehand, like the Spurg room and the beer halls and all of those places. Like it was there. It's just at a certain point in time, everybody was instructed to fucking remove that sort of element from it. And then these new chat rooms were constructed that only certain person had complete control over.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden that all got done away with. And then there's a paywall with names and numbers and addresses and fucking
credit card
payment
numbers.
information.
Yeah.
And if you want to get into Jason's, you know, like you can watch some of his shows, but if you want to watch all of the shows, then you have to answer a bunch of questions. Apparently, give your name. You know, like you're gonna pay money. They're gonna find out a lot about you. Like it's ridiculous. They're
I used to ask funny questions when people would enter the American room that I used to run. I'd be like, what is your name? What is your drug of choice? When did you first start watching The Raging Dissident? Who is Philip? You know, and depending on their answer, I'd be like, nope, fuck you, you're fed, get out of here.
What is the average flight speed of an unladen swallow?
Yeah.
There's a lot of feds out there I think we can take from this. You know, we can't be sure exactly who they are, but we know that they're working really hard and that everything that they're doing right now mirrors what they did back then.
Yeah, so just look into history, be aware of what's happened previously, and just notice.
Yeah.
We're not saying that there's a connection. We're not saying that like officially.
We are.
Okay, I'm not.
I am.
Wasn't there some kind of Fed thing like that down here too? What were they? Patriot something or other?
The Patriot Front?
Was it Patriot Front?
That's in the States.
Yeah.
No, there was a group that
weren't those guys feds?
Oh, I don't know.
That?
It's okay. So I'm of two minds of that. Patriot Front is a little too organized, and the rider vans and the professionally printed out everything and the matching uniforms and the fact that the police never really bother them and all of that stuff to me says glow. But then why wouldn't a bunch of people be organized and try to speak of, you know, their beliefs and become a coherent group? Like, why can't that happen too?
Yeah.
So
but I think that's a really important observation. If it's a named group, if they're trying to make you identify as something, then it's probably Fed related. That's what I think. People, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a lot of people just have loose associations. They're not really in a group, but they want you to be in a group. If they're pushing you into one, why?
Yeah, it's like see, the thing that the honeypots. The thing that gets me is the whole Find Your Friends campaign, and that's what suckered me into everything. Was because of my views and because of my anti-establishment, anti-authority mindset or personality type, I ended up alone and unable to speak of the things that were going through my head because of the mass psychosis that was going through everything and because of the propaganda. And I couldn't speak my mind. I'm going to say this out loud. I was afraid, right? I was afraid to speak about the things that I was thinking. And I found a group of people that I could talk openly with and I could challenge ideas with, and people would tell me that I was being an idiot, or people could say, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. But you could have those open discussions. And there were a few opinions that came across that I was kind of like, I don't think so. But then there was other things that I was like, oh my God, I've been thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was a part of the Find Your Friends campaign. And that's how I met this group of people that I'm talking to right now.
Yeah, I guess we have a group. What am I saying? And then
I know we're a group, but we have a live stream with a title.
The title. Oh no, but there's only 4 of us, so it can't be that serious, right? We're not fundraising.
Dumpster Island grows.
Propagandizing. We're not trying to gain. We don't want to write down whoever watches our show and then hand it over to somebody. We're not doing any of
What
those
were
things.
we after? Was it the Misfits? The Island of the Misfit Toys?
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
And
Okay,
it was funny.
Do we have any videos where he's talking, where we have Grant talking and then him talking, or did they not get? They were on Rocky's phone. There should be a couple more.
I think okay, I'm gonna play. So Rocky uploaded some stuff before she had to bounce.
Dip out.
I know her internet's not the greatest, and where she is, there's like a big storm.
I think her phone was overheating today.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bitch needs a new phone.
CSIS snapped that shit. They were scanning all of her stuff, so she.
I don't think so. I think her phone is old and the battery's dying, and that's what lithium-ion batteries.
It's an old iPhone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. I think she got a newer one, but whatever. I'm not sure.
Hey, if anybody wants to super chat to help us finance a new phone for Rocky, because we're all pow.
Oh yeah, and a new computer for me.
I'm gonna buy a new computer. I just hate buying computers because I don't really know anything, so I will make myself do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna play. So she uploaded the few things before she pieced out on us, so I take no responsibility for what I'm about to play.
We'll see what it is.
Hopefully, it's no longer not more of her boyfriend
videos.
I think they're mine.
Okay, here we go.
Several years ago, when Jerry, Wolf, myself, some other people sat down and started working on starting and developing an idea and a concept known as the Heritage Front, we knew that one day certain enemies of freedom would come knocking at our door.
Fit that little this or that is still traitorous. They are traitors. And as I say, they're backed into a corner. They pulled the trigger on seizing the bank accounts and freezing the bank accounts and destroying the mortgages. They pulled that trigger a little too soon.
He sort of has the same sort of like
the speech patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like a count of 4 and a stop and a count of 4 and like he'll pause for effect.
Close your fingers and do that. No, you close your fingers.
Oh, no, stop.
Do you need one of these? We always evolve to this,
Rocky's
don't we?
Gone. You're not supposed to be making dirty jokes.
We always revert back to wieners.
We always revert back to the dirty jokes. Sorry, chat.
Sorry, guys.
Not sorry. Okay, here is. Oh, I've already played that one, and then there's this one. If we've already played it, I will stop it right away.
Okay.
Call myself an investigative journalist who started out as a police detective. Of a Cold War era, 1970s, Soviet spy ring running out of a factory in Etobicoke. And with the RCMP Security Service, which is the precursor to CSIS, a bunch of rookie motorcycle cops, 20, 23 years old, we took down that Soviet spy ring. And it was a fabulous story. And I spoke to some of my old friends about it, and they don't want to come on and talk about it.
Did he have any ambitions?
Grant really wanted to be a policeman or a private detective or something of that nature. No question about it. He was very, very interested in conspiracies, and he had a conspiratorial way about him.
He is a fucking conspiracy.
Right?
Isn't that funny? You live long enough to become the conspiracy yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. What's going on here?
It's a lot of coincidences.
Yeah. And he's got a son. Grant Bristow has a son. It's unclear because each documentary, one said it was his stepson, one called it his son. But Donald Best has gone to visit his son. I can't remember when, and he's got me blocked, so there was no way I was going to go back through and find a picture of that. But I know I saw it where he went and visited him somewhere.
Oh,
yeah. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of, like normal people. Like we have pictures of our families and videos and shit like that, even if we're not just.
That's right.
Where is it? Where is all of it?
There's just absolutely nothing that you can find. There's not an article about how this man took down a Soviet spy ring in Etobicoke in 1970. Okay, I'm sorry.
Somebody out there, please find this story. This would be international news that this ragtag group of police officers,
motorcycle cops, the RCMP, security,
but it's super
whatever.
deep cover, guys. Super deep cover. Nobody can know.
It's a movie. It's a movie plot. Like that'd be a really good movie.
Well, I bet you it will be a movie. Hey, didn't Bristow do some kind of producing? Maybe he'll make a story of it.
Yeah.
Bristow.
But didn't you look up, like, all I could find was this 1945 Soviet spy ring in Toronto. You know, I actually think that he thinks people might just not know that, or like he's just going off of that sort of idea, and then he just like changed it to be his story. That's what I think.
It's funny to mention Cold War era because the Cold War spans from the end of the Second World War to the early 90s or late 80s when Gorbachev knocked down the wall and then Reagan and Gorbachev came together. It decades. So to say, like, I can say that I am a Cold War era person because I lived during the Cold War. And I
experienced a birthday.
Just one birthday.
Yeah, so we just need a birthday.
Just a little sidebar here. The Communist Party of Alberta recently had their 100th anniversary.
Yay!
Wow. Wow.
And funny story tied to that.
The more you know.
So during Black Lives Matter, when the BLM was buying large mansions, one of the mansions that they purchased was the Communist Party of Canada headquarters. Beautiful mansion in Ottawa.
Kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah, the Black Lives Matter ladies, they bought
they bought a lot of mansions, didn't they?
Yeah. It's a beautiful building.
Real estate.
Yeah. A historical building that they bought. They purchased outright. So
that's terrible. But yeah, you would think that there would be some kind of an article in which they said, "Good job, motorcycle cops, for stopping this Soviet spy ring." We should be able to find that. It should be there. It's not. There's nothing. There's nothing. I don't think it happened, guys. I don't think Donald Best is telling us the truth.
Maybe it did happen. It was super secret undercover.
Yeah.
I just give me the article.
Well, I was talking with my boyfriend earlier, and he suggested that because it is such, undercover, whatever work, it's pretty easy for the government to scrub that kind of shit, so you can't find it. But you figure there would probably be some kind of court case, like a transcript somewhere.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Where the fuck is it?
That's right.
Where are the receipts, Donald?
Yeah, there should be some kind of an article about him having been a police officer arresting someone, something to find about him.
But he was a fraud expert, so it was like, he was deep cover fraud.
That would be after his, years as a beat cop or whatever, and a detective.
Yeah, why is that never talked about? Like, where was he a beat cop? Why was there?
Well, I mean, like, you have to start somewhere. So there, it was unclear. Was he a motorcycle cop or was he a detective to start with?
Yeah, like I keep going back to the reason why this happened was to sow division, to get people fighting, to fracture the groups, and to discredit anything that was happening in Alberta.
Yeah, because then it started all it was all centered around
that's exactly what happened. Was and I think that's why, like, I will say it, like, I take this personally as an Albertan, is all of this was going on in Alberta, and there was fundraisers and people building community, and there was just incredible support and a drive to support these four men that were
and people successfully working together
and
to
people
do it.
successfully, like, and we're talking about different people with different ideologies from different backgrounds that disagreed on a lot of things, but they had come together on this main focus, and it was essentially anti-establishment. And to free these political prisoners, or to support these political prisoners, the letter writing campaigns, like the drive-bys, like with the signs, and the mini convoys that happened down to Lethbridge and up to Edmonton, and just to let these guys know that there were people out there that supported them. And this person interjected himself into this movement and caused so much chaos and so much distrust and so much.
Wrote a wild ass report.
Just so many wild accusations.
It was a fucking it was an opinion piece. There was not one thing in there that was any part of like a police report that I've ever fucking read.
That's right.
It was so the way I can say it is the report, the elements of fraud, or whatever it was called. The report,
what did he? Badges of fraud.
Badges of fraud.
It was.
It's just enough true that it's believable, is the same level of competence that we are doing tonight on this live stream.
Oh, I think we've done better, really.
And then when you have a loudmouth like the Mighty Midget, fucking like, oh my God, look at this report. Oh my God, it's fucking true. It's true. Ah.
And then they got so many things wrong. They didn't even get people's names right.
No. And even like the families came together, and the organizers came together, and yes, it was kind of a hacked together, just what the hell is going on, inexperienced fundraiser people type of situation, which it just,
I don't even think it was. I mean,
well,
they really weren't doing anything wrong with the fundraising, you know. They just had to come up with something to say so that they could discredit this group of people. And they weren't coming up with anything, so they just went to money.
Yeah, well, and the families came together, and they all sat down. They all went through the receipts. They went through every single donation. They went through every single receipt. They went through like cash money that was in envelopes. They went through absolutely everything. And the families that were involved cleared everything and said, yep, we're happy. And that wasn't good enough.
No,
there was still the badges of fraud. It wouldn't stop. It wouldn't.
It never stopped. And there's still a lot of people today that still think that those ladies are thieves. And I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. As that clip said, you don't expect the government to pay people to come after you and slander you and take people down the way that they did. That's not what you expect, but that is what happened, or at least what it appears like.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? People, when you have somebody that comes in with
it all stopped when they came in with the lies. People lost trust, didn't know what to believe. And people still don't know what to believe. You know,
they still don't know what to believe.
Absolutely, they did a great job.
I can answer this. So the convoy GoFundMe money is still in escrow. It's being held until the lawsuit between the citizens of Ottawa and the convoy organizers. They still have to go through their lawsuit. So all of the money that was raised on the GoFundMe and the Give, Send, Go has all been locked. It's still locked until that lawsuit finishes. So
that's the Ottawa money?
That's the Ottawa money. Yeah. So it's still locked up. It's still being held until that I'm going to answer that in a sec. It's still locked up in the courts. So it's been legally bound. So nobody can touch it. Like even the companies can't touch it. And there was the Give, what was it? The Give, Send, Go, or the GoFundMe money was all returned, I think.
Oh, to the
like it was all reversed
donors.
and returned to the donors. And then they started up the Give, Send, Go. And that's what the Ottawa Citizens Association went after. And so now that's been locked up in the courts and nobody can do anything about it until that lawsuit's come to a conclusion. That was that Sexy Lee or Zexy Lee or whatever her name was that was at the trial. That citizens inquiry or whatever that.
Oh, okay. The NCI?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. The PLEC was so gross and like bad and like wrong, and then I just was like, I don't want to watch this NCI because even though I'm sure it was good, I knew that the government just wouldn't care at all.
So in response to this here, Granny's fine. She's doing good. She stepped away because of all the pressure and the horrid things.
She still goes to court. She still supports the men. She's actually built a game board. So as soon as they're let free, she can finish up their actual freedom date to put on this game. And then I feel like they're $100 each, and then $60 goes to the men. So she's still working away. Yep. She's built this really cool game to fundraise for them. So because they still need to pay money to the lawyers and all the stuff they have to catch up on their lives now because they haven't worked in 2 years.
She did take a bit of a break, like after when all the pressure was getting to her and stuff like that. Like I have never met her personally, but I do know people who I trust implicitly of their opinions, and they've met her and they love her. They think she's
Granny's
one
awesome.
of those absolute genuine saints that is someone who picked up a cause and ran with it, and I believe did a fantastic job.
Absolutely. She was doing so well, and she was building such a great relationship with those guys that they had to take her out because they wanted to manipulate those men in jail. They wanted to be able to get rid of her, and they couldn't get rid of her.
Yep.
So kudos to Granny. She was tough as nails. No matter what they did to her, she would not leave.
Yeah. And that goes to my opinion about bringing back the idea of the matriarch in a family. Not moving to a matriarchal society. Everyone fucking calm down. I'm talking about the wisdom of the elders and the wisdom of the wisdom of the gray-haired old lady who's seen some shit and has the tenacity and the voraciousness to be able to pursue something like this. There's value in old ladies, even though we've hit the wall and we've moved past. There is value in old ladies.
Yeah.
Just saying that because.
Yeah,
we love Granny, and a huge shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm Granny's biggest fan.
Yeah, she is. And if you want to follow her and follow her story, she does lives and stuff like that. She talks all the time on her Facebook page.
I think it's
Margaret McKay.
Margaret Granny Mackay.
Yeah.
Or Granny Margaret Mackay. I don't know. There's different ones. I should have known that, but whatever. Look them up because she has two, and one of them will be the one that she uses all the time. Margaret Granny or Granny Margaret. I think it's Margaret Granny Mackay now.
Yeah, I think it's Margaret Granny Mackay, and she's on there all the time. Follow her. I'm sure she'd appreciate the follow, and drop her a line and say that you love her, and she's doing a good job. Here we go. Best people to talk to is older folks.
Yeah. The wisdom
and
of is priceless.
Okay, here and this one here.
You're not old.
I don't feel old, but every now and again, I'm reminded.
Totally. I'm old. I can't go on rides or ride swings anymore. They make me sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still do that shit, so I can't be that old.
You know what? It's funny. So I was taking my granddaughters out to the park the other day because I was helping mom because she needed a break, and that's what grandmas are for. And so we took the kids to the park, and I'm just like, let's play on the swings. And like, I'm in pretty good shape. I'm like, oh, let's go on the swings. So I started swinging, And I'm like, I'm going to jump off the swing. So I was pumping like really high. And then I started to get sick and I'm just like,
yeah,
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So
And
I
then
slowed
once
down
you
a bit
get
and then
that
jumped off.
sick, you can't get rid of it. You're like, oh my God, I feel so sick for so
I'm like,
long.
okay, girls, I just need a moment.
Okay.
Because grandma's going to hurl.
Totally.
Yeah. Here we go. Granny did nothing wrong. I know diary hand through hockey community. She's just a normal woman that found herself a cause. And that's what I believe. It was something.
Yeah.
If you believe in God, it was God that called her to it. If you believe in the universe presented that to her and put it on her plate. She was called to help these people, and bless her for picking up that mantle. So she's a beautiful soul, and I think we should throw everything we can behind her as support. Like if you pray prayers for her, if you just good energy and good thoughts, put that out for her.
Stick up for her when other people say she's a thief. Say no, she's
Stick up
not
for
a
her,
thief. That's
and
ridiculous.
just be like, just without using the propaganda, prove it to me that she was.
That's right.
So.
Without stating something coming from Diagolon or Jason or Donald Best.
Yeah.
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 You can't.
Grandparents of wisdom, doesn't matter what culture, religion, or faith. They play a role that parents can't.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
From a grandparent's perspective, the love you have for your grandchildren, for that legacy that you see, is like nothing else. I highly suggest having children and living and being healthy long enough to see your grandchildren. It's the most phenomenal thing I've ever experienced in my life. Love my kids more than anything, but my grandkids, it's a special kind of love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Granny is just, she's really a selfless person. She really embodies a granny. She really does. And it makes me mad when people say, why does she call herself Granny? It's like, why shouldn't she call herself Granny?
Because she's a granny.
That's right.
She's got grandchildren. Like,
yeah. Yeah. So anyways, this has just been blowing my mind.
So when I agree. When this first came out and this little brain tickle started and Rocky started poking me with this. She's like, you need to look into this. And I'm like, oh my God. My first trigger for my WTF meter was when Lavigne first had, because I watched Lavigne's reports because they were decent. They were a good source of information back then.
Yeah, back then.
And he had Mr. Best on. And all of a sudden, this dude showed up that was an expert. And I immediately went to Google, first stop, to look up this guy. And the first thing that popped up was the Barbados stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh shit.
Well,
cool.
and he'd already referenced it. Like, I think
he'd already talked about it. He'd already been like, I spent time in jail because of this, and it was totally not my fault, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. When Rocky, Chantel, when she got this little brain itch and she's like, you need to look into this. And I looked it up. None of that is, you can't find that anymore. Every single thing refers back to his website. And it's like, okay, that's weird. Okay, that's fucking weird. Right? So that got my mind going. Now, I'm not saying that this is true. I'm not saying that we've proven anything tonight. Some of us on this stream totally believe that it's the same person. Some of us are kind of like, meh, maybe. So some of us are like, no, guys, come on, calm down. But that's why we're friends, because we can have differing opinions and we can talk about these things openly and we can do our own research. And that's why we highly suggest that you guys go to the Telegram and go through all of the evidence that everyone that's participated in this, like thanks to Haley and thanks to Phil, and thanks to everybody else who brought us information and provided us with different links and provided us with different stories and YouTube videos to watch. And the movie that was produced by Bernie Farber.
Oh, the White Lies movie.
Yeah,
We should talk about that quickly.
Oh yeah. So quickly, go find the movie White Lies, produced
1997.
by 1997, produced by Bernie Farber of the Canadian Anti-Hate Network, who was a really good friend of Grant Bristow.
Weird.
And it's all about the Grant Bristow story. So go watch it. I've watched it.
It's supposed to be. I feel like I remember because I was a huge fan.
Wait,
of
White Lies.
Pardon? Yeah, it's called White Lies. Yeah.
Wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis in that, or
no? That's a different one.
That's a different one.
True Lies.
It was like
That's
a
True Lies.
CBC movie that was made by CBC. And back in the 90s, I was obsessed with like Rose Lee, Sarah Pauly, right? And she was in this movie, and I remember them talking about how it was supposed to be like a takeaway from Elisa Hannigan.
Yep.
But yet, I don't like that movie was such a gross exaggeration, wasn't it? Because in that movie, they included where they, I don't know, firebombed a synagogue. They never did that in Canada. That didn't happen.
They took some poetic license.
They sure did.
They
also,
wanted...
there was a lot of sex in that movie. Do you think that's just for the movie?
Like swingers cults and fucking and like white supremacy go hand in hand?
I don't
Aren't
know.
they like all banging in each other's wives?
I don't know.
I don't know. I do not know that.
Barn parties.
But there was a lot of sex in that movie, though. So
yeah.
I don't know how accurate that was. But anyway, they exaggerated everything. It was I think it was wildly exaggerated.
So if you search CBC, because it was produced by the CBC, which is the government.
Yeah.
So if you search CBC and White Lies, yeah, it should.
Or Sarah Pauly and White Lies. It was on YouTube.
Sarah Pauly. It is on YouTube. That's where we watched it. That's where I shared it in our chat.
I enjoyed it. It was good. And also I used to have a crush on that actor. Remember that actor from shows in CBC?
Oh, the one that plays like the super bad like lead singer of the band.
Yeah, the one with the swastika on his chest.
And he's got the terrible fake tattoos all over him.
Yeah. I used to have a huge crush on him when I was like young, because he'd be in all of the CBC shows.
It was very big.
I had a hard on for Edward Norton too on American History X, but
after he became a good guy.
Absolutely. Maybe.
Yeah. So I think we've covered everything that's in the show notes here.
Yeah, we could have done endless clips and videos of them together. Like, the CBC documentary has quite a few clips of Grant Bristow talking back in the 90s that you can listen to and then compare to Donald now.
Yeah. So if you search, we've got it in the Telegram. If you just look down below here, it's scrolling past. Everything that we've found, we've linked there. So if you want to hop on and go take a look, don't worry, we're not collecting information.
Oh yeah, and Donald Best and Grant Bristow, if you happen to see this, please feel free to email Real Housewives of Alberta with any facts that, like,
to prove
I don't know, like
wrong.
A birthday or service records or anything like that.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
Please come and prove us wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong, please, because then
police, some kind of a diploma from police school or in the name of Donald Best.
Like little plaques on a wall behind you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Something.
Just something. Because
where is Grant Bristow?
I heard his new name. Wait, it was Nathan Black, and then it was there's another one.
Because it was it's unclear. There's no real place that he's supposed to exist right now.
He's supposed to be
forget about him. That's right.
He's supposed
a
to be a
ghost.
consultant in Western Canada.
Just
now he is hailed,
magically floating in Western Canada.
he is hailed as a hero of taking down white supremacy and anti-Semitism in Canada.
You remember in the Barbados case, there's a guy named Kenneth William Mackenzie, and his nickname was the Little Billy Goat.
Yes.
That's in those Barbados links. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that little coincidence is listed in the Telegram. It's weird. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it is. It's a little weird.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up because it's I can see everybody
late.
yawning here, and I gotta go. I gotta go put my chickens to bed.
I know. It's getting
the sun's going down. Other
name.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah, this has been a gas.
It's been a crazy week trying to find some kind of proof that it's not him.
I haven't researched this much since I was in college.
High school.
Yeah, I know, right?
Doing a literal
I felt
research
like it was
paper.
a test.
Yeah, I felt like Chantel was going to give us a test after this, and it was going to be pass fail.
There is a test.
Oh shit!
There's gonna be a test.
Okay, Rocky's equipment has failed.
Yeah.
So we are accepting donations to get her some new shit because she's running on like Windows 98.
No, she doesn't even have a computer anymore. It's just the phone.
Yeah.
It's just the phone.
All right. Well, yeah. So CBC, if you search Fifth Estate, that was when CBC used to be good, and they used to do like deep dive investigatory stuff. Like they actually did a really good job.
It's a great documentary.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I think the link for it is in the Telegram we're scrolling below.
Yeah.
Darren Holmes. Darren Holmes.
Oh,
That's the third name.
That's
that is possibly Grant Bristow.
Oh, okay. That was in the Barbados stuff?
No. It says it's from the Edmonton. It's an article from the Edmonton Journal. And
that's when he was found.
The history of Grant Bristow, aka Nathan Black, aka Darren Holmes.
Darren Holmes.
So we're not gonna start a grift shop. We're not doing this for money.
Yeah, we'll do the tit shot. I mean shop.
Okay.
We
Maybe.
are. And what are we gonna sell on it? Kittens.
We'll sell
pussy.
We'll sell kitties.
Aaron's pussy shop.
And we'll send
OnlyFans.
And we'll sell eggs and possibly pickles.
Candles.
Oh, candles. We'll do
dumpster fire and milkshake candles.
We'll sell. We're not here to grift. We're not here to make money. We're not here for fame. Like none of us
that give a shit less.
We could give two shits about fame or power or anything like that. We just like hanging out, and we like talking with the chat, and we love streaming together, and
some of us like to have a little bit of loudmouth trouble. That's all.
Yes.
Some of us.
Some of us don't.
This dog needs to come in and out throughout the whole stream.
Yeah, all right. I need to go out like that dog.
Okay. Goodbye. We love you all. Thank you
for
again.
Listening and watching, and please like our stream, whatever you're on. Like and share.
Yeah, drop a like, share. That's what helps get us out to
Tell us to fuck off.
Tell us to fuck off. We're fine. Hey, even if you want to drop a comment and tell us how much you hate us and how fat and ugly we are, that's cool. That's cool too. Yeah.
Hate mail is always nice.
Hate mail is
all
welcome.
Comments are good.
And Rocky does appreciate dick pics, but only
she does
if they match this.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body.
And on that night, or that note, see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Maybe the next step in your healing journey is to go around calling people fucking cunts. That is all for today's therapy session. I'll see you next Tuesday.